Good afternoon, brother and sister Stewart. How are you today, my man, sir?
I'm alright, thank you.
Okay, I'm Sherlock. I'm here to do a feature on you for the marriage ministry of the Covenant New Testament Church.
Yes.
So could you state your name for the...
My name is Elman Louis Stewart.
Yeah, my name is Levi Stewart, sir.
Okay, but let me ask you the first question, though, sir and ma'am. What do you think about marriage ministry being a part of the church?
I think it's a wonderful thing. I think it's a wonderful thing for the church because, of course, marriage was ordained by Jesus.
And could you state the reason why? Why do you think it is important?
It is important because you have a good relationship and a good moral life.
Okay.
Good moral life.
And I think it should be talked about more in the church.
It should be more. You should talk about more in the church. You know, because it's a very important thing to talk about. To talk about in the church.
Church is a nice place to sit down and talk because we have good people to sit down and talk with inside of the church, and that makes me better than what I am normally.
Okay. Sister Stewart, could you just tell us a bit how you and Brother Stewart get to meet up back in England? How was it?
Okay.
What was it like?
Well, I went to England in 1958 to my sister, but she was in the hospital, a nurse, and she and Mr. Stewart's sisters were friends, and so she was living in you know what you call living in and hospital premises, and so then I could not stay with her, and she was the only person I have in England, of course. So she took me to Mr. Stewart's sister's place, and that's where we meet.
So how was the relationship like?
Oh, the first he saw me in less than a week, he didn't ask me even to be his girlfriend. He asked me to be his wife. He said, "Would you marry me?" I said, "No, sir. I come in England to earn some money and go back to Jamaica because I have a child and I come to work for myself, for my child and I." And he keep on and on and on. And so I said no, but he never give up. At the end of the day, I become his wife.
So Brother Stewart, what was it that you saw in Sister Stewart that convinced you that you want her to be a wife?
Well, I saw her and I just looked in her face and love her, and I didn't have another woman, a girl, to marry to. And I just looked on her and said, "Well, and all right, you could be my wife." And she said, "Well, and all right, I just go to her and tell her, well, man, look, man, may I marry to you?" Yeah, she was the best woman, prettiest woman for me. And I feel like she will, and all right, if I don't get her to marry, well, then I was something wrong.
So Sister Stewart, how was it? How was the relationship with you and Brother Stewart? With you and Brother Stewart before you got married? How was it? Was it a rocky one or was it a good one?
We weren't friends for long, just a couple of months. Because I went to England 58 at April, and we married 59 November. And a lot of that time he was chasing me. I was nowhere around him.
So if you have a message to give to the younger couples and prospective couples who want to get married, what would be a message to them from your experience?
From my space, it's a bit difficult because I was not interested in getting married. But at the end of the day, I married him, and here we are, 65 years later, together, and we have never had a storm. Of course, sometimes we have a little heated talk, but we never have a fight, a mouth fight, or fist fight, or no fight. We live good, we share, you know.
You feel like brother and sister?
Wife and husband.
We share alike.
and we work together.
So what do you think about marriages today compared to back then in your time?
Married today to back there then, what we put up with, these young folks are going to put up with it. I didn't have to put up with it, with a lot, a lot, or put up with anything that was not good. But even less than have to work and share. A lot of these younger people are not working and share. Or if they do share, one is have to pay the rent and buy the food. We did not have that in our profile.
You mentioned something about Brother Stewart lost his job. How was it?
Oh yes. Once he lost his job. Once we were buying a house. We were living at his sister and we were not comfortable. I left here and I were not accustomed just to live in one room and sharing a cooker and things like that. So we were buying a house and Brother Stewart lost his job because they asked him to work overtime. And they didn't tell him on time according to him. So when he put his clothes on, they asked him, because he had to change, they asked him. So he said no. So we call it fire. So they fire him. You understand? So there and then, he didn't tell me, long after he tell me what happened. He didn't tell me because of that. He just come and say, they fire me, I don't have a job.
So was it a challenge for you then being a sole person who would be working in the house at the time?
I didn't look at it that way. I just carry on. And when we got a house, we get a mortgage. And it was what the council gave us was not enough. We wanted some more money to pay. And so I said, well, somebody tell us about second mortgage. So I told my lawyer I had to get a second mortgage. So he said, Mrs. Stewart, what you're earning can't even pay the first one. How are you going to pay the second? It's not easy. But I will loan you, because all we were short of is £100. And I must butt in to say this. When I started to try to get a house, I didn't have any money. We have about £100 between both of us now. And I borrowed £20 from a person, and that was big money to borrow. And I borrowed £30 from another person. And my husband laughed at me and said, if I think that can buy a house. And I said, brother, give me a chance, let me carry on. And we eventually got the first house. And that's how we start.
That's how we start.
That's how we start. And I paid, to say this, I paid back the lawyer within, because if I paid up at the lawyer the money within 6 months, I didn't have to pay me any interest. But if it was over 6 months, I have to pay my interest. And I took overtime on the job I have, morning and evening, that I could earn the money to pay him without having to pay my interest. But I wasn't sorry, because my husband was the type, when whatsoever he earns, he didn't put any aside. He bring it and said, this is my pay packet, this is my pay slip. You understand me? And so that's how we work together. And we had a good life. We travel, we eat well, we wear well, we live well.
Yes, too much.
So what do you think about the church today compared to back then in your time?
The church today, the church that we are coming from, we find it was much a loving church. A church was more, people were more loving and kind to each other more than here. It's sad to say, but I'm just telling you facts. And and it's I'm not just only talking members, I'm talking from pastors straight down.
Sister Stewart and Brother Stewart, how long now, how many years of marriage do you celebrate?
65, November coming. If we live till November coming, it's 65 years.
So in your union, any children?
No, no children.
We have no children.
I have a son before I got married, but the union brought no children. So maybe that's why we are so close, because we share everything that both of us share. I mean, I have a child which I looked after, sent him to school, and he have a child. I sent for her. She's still in England, but we don't have no children together. So we're always,
You have children, 2 children, and we didn't have none together.
but we don't have no children together.
Okay, Sir Stewart.
Thank
and Brother
you.
Stewart, it was nice being here. And I thank you for this little touch of history
Yeah,
in such a short period of time.
thank you.
But I think this will go a far way. And person who will listen carefully at least will glean something from it. And one of the things that I understand is that you have to compromise
Oh yeah,
for your marriage to
big way,
last.
big
And I
time.
mentioned that someday you have to go even 90%.
90%.
Or 3/4% of the way for it to work. So I thank you so much, ma'am and sir.
Thank you for coming
It's a
through.
blessing, and
Thank
I
you for the interview.
wish you all the best
Yes,
as we move
for the
forward.
rest of our life.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Thank you, Brother Vane.
Okay.
We do appreciate you. Yeah.
Yes, sir.